3 days ago, I have signed a contract for my debut fantasy novel, which is part of the series. And as you may imagine, getting the contract feels absolutely unreal. But you know what you have to do once you get the contract and you are extremely excited? Take it to an attorney. Wait, this is probably not what you thought I would say, but hear me out. I have previously pitched my story to some publishers, agents, and all the places into which, you know, the debut fantasy novel authors are usually pitching to check out their stuff. Now, what I've noticed in one of the offers that I have previously gotten was the fact that there was a point that wanted to take all of the rights to my story from me and give it to the publisher. This means that if my story was successful and has been changed into, for example, TV series, which is the ultimate goal, isn't it? Then I would not have rights to this story. I would not have a say in anything that would be going on in it. So as you may imagine, I have politely declined this particular offer, but it gave me a little bit of a boost. Why? Because apparently the story was good enough to put such a point in. Now, I did read this contract, but I'm on enough authors groups to know that a lot of people sign the contracts without really reading them or understanding them. So in this video, I just want to talk about the most important things that you need to pay attention to while getting the contract. Now, this is getting me back to the moment in which I said at the beginning of this video that you will need to go to an attorney. Now, do you really need to go to an attorney? Yes and no. If the English is not your first language, yes. If anything in the contract makes you wonder or question what it means, yes. If you are a lawyer, sure, why not? You don't have to. I'm obviously not a lawyer, so I went the safe way with going to someone that's smarter than me. Mostly because this is my story and I'm a little bit biased and I want to keep all of the rights to it and be able to do whatever the hell I please. So going to an attorney or someone who is really good with contracts is obviously pivotal for any type of an offer, okay? Especially if you want to succeed as an offer. It is on you to make sure that everything that's in the contract is fair and good for you. Now, what to really look for in such contracts. Number one is a publishing date that has to be agreed upon, and it cannot be just a month or just a year. It has to be a right date. Now, my personal publishing date is 31st of October 2025. Mark your calendars. The link to newsletter and sign up for little reminders down below in the description. Fantasy novel, really cool. I may be biased because I wrote it. Number two is the rights given to the publisher. Again, do not let the publisher take away all of the rights to the story from you. All the rights to the story need to always stay with you. The rights for the publisher is to publish a book and edit it with your supervision. Do everything with your supervision because this is your story, no one else's. Number three is the publisher responsibilities. They have to be listed and you need to know what is the publisher responsible for. Things such as page design, editing, cover design, maps, graphics, whatever else is in there, publishing, marketing, whatever else. It has to be noted down and it has to be clear that this is the publisher's responsibility. And be sure that some of those things also have dates in them. So you have a full scope of what the publisher is doing and when. So it's not that everything is done a week before the publishing date, you know what I mean? Well, this week was a little bit dramatic. Number four is author responsibilities, because obviously you have responsibilities with this book as well, such as answering to the editor and working with the editor, working with the publisher on deciding on all the things like page design, cover and stuff like this. You have to be responsible because otherwise the publisher won't be able to keep all of their deadlines. So all of those things also have to be really nicely put and listed and clear. Also check if there is anything that you did not agree to prior to signing the agreement. Like, there may be a point that says you need to cut 50,000 words within 3 days, and this is not happening, right? So be sure to be really vigilant when it goes to your own responsibilities as well. Number 5, this is probably what most of the authors are really interested in, which is royalties. Now, depending on the type of publishing that you are going for, which is traditional, hybrid, self-publishing with help of a publisher, because this is apparently a thing, this may obviously differ. For For example, did you know that the traditionally published authors usually get an advance? Now you need to check when do you get this advance, what type of an advance, how much is it percentage-wise, are you getting it all at once or are you getting it in like little steps depending on the work that you have done, what is your royalty percentage. Then you need to pay attention to the amount of books that you need to sell to start getting royalties per book sold after you have kind of redid your advance payment, and then what is the percentage per book sold and at what type of a number. So for example, it can be that once you repay your advance, let's say just sell 10,000 books, then the next 10,000 are having like 5% of your royalties, and then after 10,000 it's 7. This is obviously made up in my mind just to say it to you, but just pay attention to those things. Now, if you are doing hybrid, you're gonna get a little bit more royalties than you do when you are going traditional, and if you are self-publishing, then all the royalties are going straight to you, minus the printing cost and all the type of things, but you know that the royalties, the net. Speaking of royalties, number 6 is the payments. I've recently gotten to know that the authors are getting paid every 3 months, not every month, which kind of makes sense considering that you're just collecting those royalties and it's probably not super much, especially if it's your debut novel. But I also gotten to know that usually the first payment is coming also a little bit later. So in traditional publishing, that means that your first payment is getting sent to you 3 months after you have repaid your advance payment, or 3 months after the time in which the publisher usually pays after you have finished your advance payment repaying, things like this. Just check it out. In hybrid publishing, it may be 6-9 months after the publishing date, depending on your contract. So all of those things may differ. It's getting a little bit crazy, so be sure to really look at this and be sure to check if you have like a threshold or something like this, because this is also extremely important. Also check what it says about fees, cancellations, and returns of your book. Number 7 is copyrights. So your publisher actually should write a copyright inside of your book, but you also need to check if they would be willing and will they actually take any action if the copyright is breached. What it means is, for example, there is a really big problem right now with AI written books and some fan fiction that has been self-published, and people get money off of it without paying the authors of the original story. So if someone self-publishes fan fiction based on your book and they get money from it, but they don't pay you any royalties, this is when your publisher should come in with you and, you know, get things going. The 8th thing that's usually visible within the contracts is the warranties. So the publisher needs to guarantee that they will publish your book within the set date, an agreed upon date that's in the contract, as well as that they will guarantee that they will work with you on all the things that are mentioned in the contract. Now you as an author also need to guarantee that your work is original, it hasn't been written with an AI, it hasn't been a copy of someone else's work and things like this. So you need to guarantee it. This is actually saving both of the parties. So the publisher from the copyright claims and all the other things, and you from all the things that may go wrong. Number 9 is termination and breach. This is an important one. If the publisher doesn't do what they are supposed to be doing, you will be able to cancel the contract. If you are not doing what the publisher wanted you to do and what was somewhere in the points above, they can cancel with you. You need to know what are the rules, if you are getting any money, if you need to give them back the advance, if you have anything else to do. This is an extremely important one. The best thing you can do is to really go to an attorney with this, especially if you don't understand even one thing. Just be sure to just check it with someone. And last but not least, anything else you have agreed upon with your publisher. So if the publisher has promised you that you're gonna get, I don't know, if you agreed that your pages... Oh wait, I actually have one like this. Give me a second here. Now this means that if you have agreed with your publisher that they will do a little bit of a beautiful silver special effect, or that your hardcover is going to look like this instead of just being black, and I was just doing the videos about those books, that's why they are here. Or that you will have a side of your book that's purple. That's all that it means. So anything else you have agreed upon with your publisher needs to be in this contract. Otherwise, they may not do it and you may get the really bland book that's not fitting your requirements or whatever. And when it goes to the basics of contracts, that's basically all. I would still highly recommend going to an attorney or to someone smarter than you, or especially someone less biased. The least biased person is going to be the absolute best. That's why I'm saying attorney is great. Now, obviously, I am happy with the contract that I have been given from my publisher, and I'm extremely excited to say that my book is coming out really soon, 31st of October 2025. Yes, Halloween. It's absolutely on brand. I'm loving it. And if you want to get to know more about it, be sure that you are subscribed and maybe go to my website that says everything that you need to know about the book or that I can share at this particular moment. Just saying. If you want to know how it actually happens that I'm publishing my own debut fantasy novel, check out the video right here in which I'm explaining everything, and it also has a scene from the moment I got my own contract, so be sure to check it out. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay awesome fam. Bye!